My dear students, today also we are going to discuss about the theory of scientific realism. This is the continuation of the part 1 we discussed. Regarding the scientific realism of Locke, we know that consciousness is like a photographic plate on which external things are represented. We have discussed, we have known. And now I would like to describe some concepts what we discussed in the previous class. If I do not explain these concepts in this class today, I think you may not understand easily when we continue the second portion to what we have to study in connection to with the scientific theorism of Locke. Say for example, some terms like consciousness, photographic plate, qualities of the objects, ideas, representationism. We know consciousness. Then, how does John Locke expressed consciousness? Consciousness is like a photographic plate on which external things are represented. We can see the images, the picture of the things, image of the objects on the consciousness. So, Locke compare this consciousness, our consciousness is with a photographic plate of a camera. Then, when we study about the scientific theory of the realism, we find the qualities of the objects. Now, we have already known that the objects have their own qualities. These qualities are the ideas of the mind. These qualities are the ideas of the mind. They are the copies of the external objects. This is the main thing what we have to understand when we study the scientific theory of realism. Locke's theory is known as scientific realism. Why? Because his realism is consistent with the scientific thought of his time. We have already known this. His theory is in agreement with the thoughts and the concepts of the scientists of his time. Then again, now his theory is also again known as theory of representationalism. Why? Because according to this theory, mind never perceives anything external to itself. Mind does not perceive anything the mind is a photographic plate. The ideas in the consciousness are representations. The ideas in our mind are the representations, are the images, are the exact copies of the qualities of the real things that exist in the external world. So these are the ideas are the representations. What we have in our mind, what we call ideas or the knowledge, are the representations. Therefore, again, his theory is also known as theory of representationalism. Today, we will discuss mainly on the important distinction between the primary qualities and the secondary qualities of things. Because we can see some qualities are variable and some qualities are invariable. Because of these variabilities and invariabilities of the things, the qualities may be classified into two types: primary qualities and secondary qualities. Then now let us see what is the primary qualities. John Locke makes an important distinction between the primary and the secondary qualities of things. The primary qualities are extension, shape, size, impenetrability, divisibility, motion, and the like. Extension and shape, size are primary qualities. Why they are known as the primary qualities? We will discuss now. Why they are known as the primary qualities? The primary qualities belong to the external physical things. These primary qualities belong to the external physical things. They are entirely independent of the mind that perceives them. They are entirely independent from our mind. Their existence is free from our mind. Their existence do not depend on our mind. Say for example, in this picture you can see a box, some tomatoes, and some other things are here. The shape, the spherical shape of the tomato is there, you see. But the shape is, the differentiation between the shape and the color of the tomato is that the color can be changed from green to yellow, or yellow to reddish, etc., etc. Their color may be changed. Even though the color is removed from the shape of the tomato, the shape is there, but the color disappeared. The box is there, the other things are here, their shape and size may not change. The shape and size are static and permanent. They have some size and match to another size, another shape, they will possess one shape or another shape. But the color disappeared. The color will disappear. The taste will disappear. The smell will disappear. But these shape, size of the box, tomato and other things are not changed. They are independent of the mind. Therefore, these primary qualities are objective. They are free from our mind. Therefore, Locke says that the primary qualities are real and objective. This is what we have to know in connection with the primary qualities of John Locke. Then again, let us know something about the secondary qualities. The secondary qualities, on the other hand, do not belong to things. Say the color of the tomato can be changed, are changed. They do not belong to the things. The color may be variable, as I told you. Say at first it may be green, and after some time it may be, the color of the tomato may be red, or after some time its color may change into yellow. Changes the color. They do not belong to the subject, belong to the thing. But the shape, the spherical shape of the tomato is there, exists, static, permanently. The existence of the colors, the existence of the secondary qualities are dependent on our mind. The constant changes are there, the variabilities are there according to the differentiation of the different perceivers. So, the existence of these things, the secondary qualities, depend on the mind they are perceived. So they exist only in the consciousness of the subject as substance and ideas. Therefore, they are subjective. They are not real. They are not the real object. So this is the description of the secondary qualities. Now we know the differentiation between the primary qualities and the secondary qualities, or what is in our consciousness, what is not in our consciousness. Now, in order to understand some more knowledge regarding the scientific realism of John Locke, we have to discuss some more points. The distinction between the primary and the secondary qualities got approval and support of the then scientist. We know this one. The scientists approve the concept of John Locke. Therefore, his theory is known as scientific realism. And on the other, some rationalists like Descartes, Spinoza and others of their group also adopted the distinction between primary qualities and secondary qualities. Now, from the discussions, from the observations, we know that secondary qualities vary under different conditions in the same object, in a different individuals to the same person at different times. We find such things. So the secondary qualities do not correspond to any real qualities outside, but the primary qualities are the true copies of the qualities existing in the external things. Hence, primary qualities are objective, while secondary qualities are subjective. Then, from these definitions, from these discussions, what we find is that how Locke defined knowledge then. According to Locke, knowledge is true insofar as it corresponds to its object. If it does not correspond to the object, it cannot be called knowledge. It cannot be considered as knowledge. The ideas constituting the knowledge are the exact copies of these objects. If they are the exact copies of the knowledge, then the knowledge is true. So here we need the conformity, the uniformity are indispensable between the object and our ideas. Conformity and uniformity are very much indispensable conditions. These are the conditions of our knowledge. Now, let us see some more argument of John Locke. According to John Locke, what we find is that the secondary qualities may be different. The secondary qualities may be different from one person to another because of the differentiation of their sensations, the qualities of the sensations. What is sweet to one is bitter to another, or what is heavy to someone else may be light to another person. Now this is the differentiation between the primary qualities and the secondary qualities. Now there is a constant changes we can see in connection with the secondary qualities. We can see the variabilities are there. Therefore, in the conclusion, now let me tell you, say the secondary qualities exist only in the consciousness of the subject as sensations and the ideas. Therefore, they are subjective, you know now. Then again, according to Locke, what we find is that the primary qualities are the support of the secondary qualities. If primary qualities are not there, secondary qualities must not be there. It means that they will not exist. So primary qualities are the main support of the secondary qualities. Therefore, Locke thinks that there must be a material substance in the external world as a support to the primary qualities. But as Locke mentioned, what we see is that we do not know this substance. What is the support of the primary qualities. This substance is unknown and unknowable. Because of this conclusion of John Locke, the critics said that Locke's critical realism is half realism and half idealism. Now, for today, let us finish here. The study of the theory of scientific realism or critical realism of John Locke.